Hey singers, I'm Justin Stoney, the founder of New York Vocal Coaching, welcoming you to episode 7 of Voice Lessons Online, the show where passionate voice teachers from all over the world help us learn from some of the greatest singers of all time. Today we're featuring the first country singer we've explored on the show. If you're a country music lover, you're about to be like... And if you're someone who likes every kind of music except country, well, prepare to be converted by Chris Stapleton.
I'm just a traveler on this earth. Sure as my heart's behind the pocket of my shirt. Ain't my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. It's more precious than gold, can't be bought, and it can't be sold. You're right smooth, it's Tennessee whiskey. You're right sweet, strawberry wine.
Chris is known for his authentic conversational quality, blended with some ice-cracking riffs and runs, and stirred up with some stanky, down-home rasp and distortion, for a voice that's as smooth as Tennessee whiskey and sweet as strawberry wine. Let's hear from our team about what makes Chris Stapleton so special. First, Andy King is here to tell us about Chris's ability to live through the song.
Hey, I'm Andy, and today I want to talk to you about Chris Stapleton and about the way he injects emotion into his voice and lyrics, and then give you some tips on how to connect and express your emotion in your own performances. It doesn't take long to be completely hypnotized by a Chris Stapleton performance and to experience emotions along with him. His voice, his lyrics, and the simplicity of his performance are all key pieces of the way he conveys emotion. Let's take a look at a few moments of Chris Stapleton singing. First, let's listen to the beginning of him singing Either Way.
We pass in the hall on our way to separate rooms. The only time we ever talk is when the monthly bills are due.
Let's break down what we're hearing. Instrumentally, we have a solo, acoustic guitar. Vocally, he's quiet and simple. Lyrically, we have the following. We pass in the hall on our way to separate rooms. The only time we ever talk is when the monthly bills are due. These three elements paint an immediate picture of someone who is lonely, tired, and defeated. Let's keep listening.
We can just go on like this. Say the word, we'll call it quits. Baby, you can go, you can stay. But I won't love you either way.
We just got to listen to that one more time.
We can just go on like this. Say the word, we'll call it quits. Baby, you can go, you can stay. But I won't love you either way.
Just incredible. What do we hear in the chorus? Vocally, he's going much bigger. There's distortion and higher pitches and longer held notes, all causing tension to increase. That alone would be enough to raise the stakes emotionally, but the lyrics really bring it home. We can't just go on like this. Say the word, we'll call it quits. Baby, you can go or you can stay, but I won't love you either way. The combination of vocals and lyrics allow you to feel his devastation. When it comes to conveying emotion, we singers have so many tools at our disposal. When working on connecting to emotion in a song, we want to explore two directions. inside out, which is allowing the emotional world of the song to influence our sound, and outside in, which is using the technical elements like resonance, registration, and volume to help us connect to the emotion of the song. I find that if we're having a hard time connecting to a song on a personal level, it helps to work from the outside in. Focus on the technical aspects of a song. Think, what does anger sound like? What does joy sound like? What does sadness sound like? And if you're someone who has a hard time nailing down which technical aspects belong where in a song, it's helpful to work from the inside out and let your authentic emotions inform what sounds you make. Challenge yourself today to not only work on technique or only the emotion of a song, and instead see how much they influence each other. I guarantee that if you do, your performance is going to be much richer and more personal.
Awesome, Andy. Next, Christy Bissell has some great advice about how to rock out.
Hi! Vocal distortion refers to raspy vocal sounds that are sometimes used as stylistic effects. These effects often convey edginess, grit, or emotion to serve as a contrast to cleaner vocal productions. Let's listen to Chris rock out and use distortion on Arkansas from this year's Country Music Awards. Listen to that amazing arytenoid and false fold distortion. A possibility that some may consider when listening to a sound is a past or present vocal injury. It's important to understand that hearing these sounds doesn't always mean that someone is abusing their vocal folds. It's hard to know for sure if Chris suffered any vocal injury in the past, and it's also very important to not shame him or think less of him as a musician even if he did. So yes, that could be why we hear so much distortion for some singers, but truly most of this sounds like a choice. And it is so incredible how beautifully his vocal choices further his composition and lyrics to listeners. Chris is a Southern boy. His discography is a mosaic of all things home, blue collar, late night whiskey, and money don't buy love feel. When a singer can bring me into their world with the full package, I mean, come on. Let's listen to one more clip of Chris singing Starting Over, sung with his beautiful, beautiful wife, Morgan.
Someday we'll look back and smile and know it was worth every mile. It don't matter to me wherever we are, where I want to be. And only for once in our lives, let's take our chances and roll the dice.
It makes me want to cry. It's so sweet. And his gritty voice in this with the distortion somehow furthers the love story. If you're considering incorporating distortion into your sound, it is one of those vocal skills to definitely consult with a voice teacher. You really want to make sure that you are not using the true vocal folds to create these gritty sounds, but instead use all those tissues and other parts of the vocal mechanism that are much safer for your voice. And then rock out.
So cool, Christy. Casey Velasquez, tell us about those vowels.
Hey singers, I am so excited to talk about Chris Stapleton. Chris is an amazing singer, songwriter, musician, and he sings with so much emotion and power when he performs. Let's take a look at this next clip and really dive into what Chris is doing to get his signature sound.
Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I cry when I can't do nothing else.
So impressive. Chris is singing his high notes and his vowels, in this case his I vowels, with a very wide open embouchure or mouth shape. This is contributing to the strength that you hear in his voice. Now, some vowels can be harder for singers to sing than others. I vowels especially can be very tricky because they're a diphthong, or a vowel with two vowel shapes in one. So you've got I, ah, and E. So when Sometimes I Cry, Chris is not letting the E part of the I vowel interfere with his high notes. He's singing mostly an ah shape with a wide open embouchure. This is allowing him to incorporate strength, volume into his sound, and also dive into that grit and distortion that he's so well known for. But Chris is a perfect example of how certain vowel modifications can make singers' lives so much easier. So in voice lessons, you can play around with different vowel modifications that might fit your voice and style better, and you'll notice how it affects the ease with which you sing. All right, singers, thank you so much for having me once again, and I will see you soon.
Thanks, Casey. And Arbender Robinson, a man who can really tell a story. How does Chris do it?
Hello, artists, music lovers, and musicians. Today, we're going to talk about something that I call remembering that every story has a story. If we think about a song that we love as being a story, there's a wonderful story in the song. Have you ever thought about the fact that there's also a story behind it? Something happened in the artist's life, or the artist saw something that caused them to write this song. And so when they perform it, they're also thinking about that event or that idea, and that's what helps give the song meaning. So we're going to look at something called a Tiny Desk concert. If you've never seen these before, you want to check them out because the artists have to mold their performance to match this small, intimate audience, and then we get to learn the story behind the story. Here's one setup. Check this out.
Kind of a history. I think somebody used it as a canoe paddle at one point. It's got a bunch of mud in it and, you know, fun stuff like that. But it's I have other guitars, but it's the one that sticks with me quite a bit.
Lots of other guitars.
You're not supposed to tell that part. Some people have addictions. I might be one of them. And speaking of, there's a segue to this song. This is a song I wrote years ago with a gentleman named Lee Miller. And it's been recorded by some other folks, but we wound up doing it on this record. So. There's a bottle on the dresser by your ring, and it's empty. So right now I don't feel a thing.
Isn't that amazing? It's totally amazing. So now my challenge for you is, in your own performance, find the songs that you want to sing, that you want to share with your audience, but then decide for yourself, what is it about that song? Or what story do you want to tell with that song? Once you fully understand that, your song, your performance takes on an entirely different meaning, and that becomes a wonderful, beautiful thing for you to share with your audience and for your audience to be able to share with you. So try that in your own performance. Let us know how it goes for you. And remember that every story, every song, every story has a story. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Arbender, and thanks to all our experts. I'm going to share what I've learned from Chris in a moment. But first, here are some ways to become a better traveler on your vocal journey.
To get to know the Voice Lessons online team or schedule a lesson, visit voicelessonsonline.com. To get your copy of Justin Stoney's book, Sing Like Never Before, visit singlikeneverbefore.com. If you'd like a vocal course that you can do from home, check out the Voice Lessons to the World vocal course. Our 12-part program takes you on a journey from beginner to master level vocal exercises. Find it at voicelessonstotheworld.com. If you're a voice teacher looking to master your craft, join our worldwide community at voiceteachertraining.com. Finally, if you'd like free vocal tips sent to you each day, sign up at dailyvocaltips.com.
While I could talk all day about Chris's vocal technique, I want to highlight something that singers miss all the time: songwriting. Chris didn't make it in the music industry on his voice alone, even though he could have. He did it through his incredible songwriting craft.
But there was a time when if there was a song that everybody liked and they thought it was a great song, there'd be 4, 5, 10 versions of it of different people doing it because they thought it was a great song. And I think that for me, that still is true. Like I like to hear other people do things that I wrote because they're always going to interpret it differently than I would. And that's what artistry is.
Chris has written hundreds and hundreds of songs for other artists and for himself. Some of his best only took him 10 minutes.
And I mean, it might have been a little more than 10 minutes because
15.
it took me a little longer. Yeah, but in that time, just sitting there.
You're never late though. You really get ready quick.
Very funny.
So that's 10 minutes from a standing start, blank page. Here comes the
I
song.
had that idea.
He never has. Can I just say that he never has a blank page? It's always full of half-written or a line or a melody or a guitar riff or something. The page is never blank, ever. I mean, I'm speaking for you, but I think I know you
Except
that
when I'm
well.
trying to do anything else in life. Then the page is completely blank.
And I suppose that's my encouragement to you right there. Don't have a blank page. If your page is blank, fill it in with something. Anything from the heart. You don't have to have an interest in writing a #1 smash hit song. You can just write for you.
I'm only worried about what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do or how I present music. And I just try to do things that I want to listen to. And I think that's what everybody else is trying to do too.
Yeah.
Like maybe somewhere somebody's trying to do things just because they think it'll get played on the radio or make money or something like that. But those things rarely get played on the radio or make money.
Yeah.
I think you're making it for the wrong reasons. And eventually that catches up with you.
So take it from Chris. Do it for you. Even if you say, I've never written a song in my life, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be for them. It can be for you and the powers that be. Doesn't even have to be any good. But just imagine singing words that are yours to a melody that's yours and with a soulful expression all your own. That's a timeless experience. And Chris, if I may say so, my friend, that's what sets you apart.
You always try to be as timeless as you can be. I think timeless is a word that you try to inject into music.
You show to all of us that you can be a man from another time, another era, who knows how to set the world on fire right now, all the while capturing the sort of beauty that you just know in your bones is going to last forever. So yeah, timeless. 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 We'll see you next time for more Voice Lessons Online.